Hi, I'm Coach Lucas, and today we're going to do the Straddle Planche. Planche is a really common skill that we love to watch, love to see, and are amazed by how it's done. The planche is combined of two different aspects. One is the change of center of mass, allowing us to find correct body balance in order to hold the position. And the second is pure strength, which allows us to lift our body off the ground and hold that position. First, we're going to be looking at angles. Right now, we're going to have the gymnast Ian here in a front support. Legs straight, shoulders are on top of the line. This is the perfect position that a planche is going to happen in. The only difference is where our center of mass is. Right now, Ian's body weight is primarily centered above his hands. In order to lift his legs off the ground, we're going to need to shift the center of mass to more his mid-body. As his shoulders lean forwards, his feet are going to become more and more weightless to the point where one hand is enough to lift off the lower half of the body. This is the balance that we're looking for. Once we know that the gymnast can hold a solid front support and understands the mechanics of being able to shift their body weight back and forth, we can then elevate on something that's a little bit less stable, like a yoga ball. From here, the gymnast is going to maintain that hollow shape in the back, and the shoulders are slowly going to lean forwards to the point where you'll start to see a vibration or a struggle in the body. This is the point where we're starting to become weightless on the yoga ball, and then back. We're going to do this 3 times. So as far forwards as possible, keeping that rounded position, and back, and last one. As far forwards as possible, and back. Perfect. Now that we understand the balance, we have to be able to use that balance in order to lift off the ground. What happens is when we start off with our tuck planche, the gymnast is going to lift off the ground. However, if the shoulders don't move past the vertical line, we're simply going to fall back this way. Let's see one more time. So shoulders can't go past vertical. He's going to fall backwards. Now let's see what happens if he leans slightly forwards. 5 degrees to 10 degrees past vertical, and the knees can come up and balance and back down. This is the lean that we want. Once we understand the balance and lifting, the gymnast is going to go up and back down. Rather than focusing on the hold, make sure the gymnast is focusing on the angle as well as the alignment of the shoulders and hips at horizontal, making sure one does not surpass the other in height, creating unequal balance. The first couple exercises that we looked at with planche were primarily around the upper body, strength, and balance. However, there's a lot of lower body strength that is also included in the planche. Primarily in the hips, being able to lift the lower body to an equal horizontal height. One of the best things that we can do is to find an elevated surface, whether it's a mattress or a box in this case, to have the gymnast be able to hold and lift the lower legs off the ground and hold for 5 seconds. Straddled or straight. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we're going to try one more time with our legs together. And go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Perfect. Take note that when the gymnast did this, his back is still trying to hold that round shape. So it's only from the hips downwards that we're actually trying to extend our body. Let's watch one more time for 3 seconds. Ready? And go. 1, 2, and 3. The next step that we're going to do is combine a little bit of our balance, upper body strength, and lower body activation together. By having the gymnast on a yoga ball or something that can move, and a line that we have reference point, the gymnast is going to hold that front support, legs straight, shoulders are going to lean forwards past 5 to 10 degrees, and then one leg is going to come off the ball, mimicking the hip activation that we did off the block earlier. 3, 2, 1, and together we're going to do this twice. 3, 2, 1, and again with the other leg. Go ahead, leaning forwards. 3, 2, 1, and one more time. 3, 2, 1. Awesome. Please note, when the gymnast is leaning forwards and the leg comes out to the side, the knee and toe should be pointing forwards with the hip rotated out. In the straddle planche, although flexibility is not required, it is definitely advantageous. The more flexible the gymnast is, the easier and less amount of work and strain that's going to be put on the shoulders throughout this exercise. Now that we've done each component separately, we're going to be combining the active strength required from the upper body and the lower body mixed together with balance to try to mimic the planche. Using a parallel or some sort of line plus a yoga ball where the lower body can move, we're going to have the athlete in a front support lean that 5 to 10 degrees forwards and then complete 2 push-ups aiming towards the middle body of the push-up. This ensures that we have that 15-degree angle that we're looking for. Perfect. Once they've done that, we're now going to add in the lower body activation by having one leg go out to the side, 5 to 15-degree lean forwards, and 2 more push-ups. 1, 2. Again, repeat with the other side. Slight lean forwards, and 2 push-ups. 1, 2. Awesome. The next exercise we're going to be doing is from a reverse gripped handstand, slowly lower, called a negative, through the planche position down to our front support with our angle lean. The reason why we have the gymnast in reverse grip is because in gymnastics, the most common place for the planche to occur is either on the floor exercise or on the rings. On the rings, they need to be turned out in order to get credit for the skill. Let's take a look. Reverse kick to handstand. Right now, he is perfectly in line. From here, the first thing that's going to deviate from the vertical line is the shoulders. Shoulders lean forwards, right into that hollow planche position. And then he's going to slowly lower down to the front support. We're going to do this 3 times. Vertical alignment, shoulders lean first, same nice tight shape, all the way down, and 1 more. Take note that the hips never change in shape. It is only the shoulders that lean forwards. Perfect. Once the gymnast has done this a couple times with spot, we're now going to try it without spot. Having some sort of mat to fall onto, the gymnast is going to slowly lower down onto the cheese mat. Each time when the gymnast leans more and more forwards, the slower the action becomes, as we can see. We'll do this 3 times. So now the gymnast has done the negative lowers, and we've done the activation of the lower body and upper body using the yoga ball. Now we're going to try it unassisted. What we're going to get the gymnast to do is to go to that tuck planche position that we've seen at the beginning. We're going to extend one leg out to the side and back in 3 times. 1, 2, 3. The next step that we're going to go on to is having the gymnast go from that tuck planche, opening both legs to a momentary straddle position, then lower down, controlled to the floor. We're going to try this 3 times. Up, open, down. Take note that the gymnast's shape always remains round in the lower back, and all the action is coming from the hips. 2, and last 1. In this video, we've covered just a few of the methods used to teach planche. Although there's hundreds out there, these are just a couple that we use at Inspire Sports Victoria. Once the gymnast has completed all of these drills, then unfortunately there's no secret to success, we just need to practice. It's important to not over-practice, as the gymnast can get really sore and actually it ends up to be detrimental to the progress in the planche. Working this 2 times a week is more than enough. Let's have the gymnast give it a try. Awesome. Please note that in the planche exercise, improvements do not come quickly. It is something that has to take time. Overtraining of the planche can result in sore wrists and sore elbows from tendinitis built up in overextending the muscle groups. Like any skill in gymnastics, there's always going to be common mistakes and corrections that we can identify and fix early on before they become a bad habit. The 3 mistakes that we're going to be looking at today in the straddle planche is 1, elbows bent, 2, angle of shoulders, whether it's too much or too little angle, and the 3rd one is the piking of the hips. Let's take a look. The first mistake that we're going to be looking at is bent arms. Oftentimes, when the gymnast is not strong enough in the shoulders to be able to withhold the strength of a straddle planche, they end up compensating by using their biceps, bending their elbows more to take the strain off. Let's take a look. Although sometimes the gymnast may feel stronger in this position, it's a bad habit that won't lead to further progressions. Hence why we need to get rid of it early and identify it. The second mistake that we're going to be looking at for the straddle planche is shoulder angle, whether that's too much or too little. So let's take a look at not enough shoulder angle. That means the shoulders are at vertical or haven't even passed vertical. What this is going to cause is the gymnast to fall back onto that same side and not be able to hold the horizontal balance. Let's take a look. Very evident. On the other side of that is when the gymnast has too much shoulder angle. This is where the center of mass is actually past the vertical line of the hands, hence causing the gymnast to be top heavy and fall forwards. Let's take a look. The third mistake, and the one that often goes unnoticed until the latest part in the planche, is the piked hips. So many times gymnasts are focusing on the balance and the upper body strength that they forget about the lower body activation of getting the hips to a horizontal level. Let's take a look what that looks like. Again, this feels a little bit easier because we're shortening the length of our body, making the angle required a little bit less. However, in artistic gymnastics, this is a big deduction, and oftentimes below 45 degrees won't even get counted as a skill.